Welcome back for another edition of Preps Plus Insiders. I'm Mike Finnerty, the Sure West Sports Show, joined once again by Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee. And Joe, what do we have on roll call this week?
How do you like my clipboard?
I love it.
All right, these teams are going to be mentioned in our program here. Grant, Burbank, Capital Christian, Vista Del Lago, Franklin, Del Oro, De La Salle, St. Francis, Rockland, Jesuit, Christian Brothers, Oakridge, and much, much more. We try to hit all bases.
Is that all? Just
that's a warm-up act.
All right, well, let's start it off with Hot Topic. We do that every week. We're going to talk a little Grant football. Grant is back. They're 3-0. What makes them so special? Because when they're good, area football's good.
I think it's really good to have them as a factor, much like the New York Yankees or Dallas Cowboys. People say, do they have to be good? Yeah, it helps the overall brand. The atmosphere alone in Del Paso Heights for football on a Friday night is terrific. We experienced that the other day. You've got fans of all walks of life, young and old. This is their Pacers. This is their community. You got the drum line. It's the best we've ever heard. It's spirited. It's fun. We were a little disappointed that they were there late. We were thinking there can't be a game if there's no drum line. And then you have the product on the field. Big players, fast players, ferocity. You've got the coach and Mike Albergini, who's been there for so long, 44 years in the district, 23 years as the head coach. He always jokes that he can curse in 8 different languages because that's how many languages are spoken on his football team. He's fantastic. It's a great atmosphere. If you haven't gone to a Grant game, go. You won't be bored.
Yeah, the Pacers are back. Well, let's talk about some football injuries, some big ones, Joe, namely Josh Pfeffer of Vista Lago, their running back. You've got Tavon Ryan, running back, cornerback for Del Oro. He's out for the year. Brandon Johnson of Franklin, Patrick Ryan of Rockland. What are we to make of these, and how will they impact their teams?
Devastating injuries. And you're talking about some of their best players, some of the best leaders. And Tavon Ryan is a junior. He has next year. Josh Pfeffer is a scholar. He's a terrific two-way player. He's a baseball star. He's just really sick. I think a lot of his family is too, that he's out for a year. This is a championship program, but he'll be there as a leader on crutches, much like all of those guys will. Brandon Johnson is the son of Franklin coach Mike Johnson, supposed to be their crowning moment. It happens. It happens. It's how these kids respond and how their team rallies around them. So I think you'll see good things. I think you'll really see leadership on crutches.
I agree. Well, those are some big injuries. Let's talk about a big player in the area, and one of the best in our area is Capital Christian offensive lineman, defensive lineman Nephi Leal, and he just recently gave a verbal commitment to play at Stanford. He's going to play football, and I say that because he also plays basketball. He's a special kid, and he's a unique kid.
He's a character with a lot of character and personality, and he's, oh, by the way, a great player. He's a terrific student, AP classes across the board. I always think they're showing off and they're doing all that, but he likes to sing. He will sing in the national anthem. He will sing in church. He'll sing at a banquet. Nephi, when did you first learn to sing? When I was about 3 years old. How were you? Were you screeching? He goes, nobody's ears bled. So he's got personality. This is a well-rounded kid, and he's a terrific football player, Capital Christian, dominant in basketball, too.
Yes, he is. Well, let's move from football and do a little girls volleyball. Joe, St. Francis Troubadours, one of the best this area has ever seen. They win every year. They're dominant every year. They went to the NorCal finals last year, and they're back once again. You know, these were girls who were juniors who are now seniors. You're talking about Anna Batosh, Leah Felton, Allie Camellis, Noah Nightingale. Talent is back. They got a big win this week, and I think this is a team that's going to be competing for a section title again.
I agree, and as long as Lynn Wright is there as coach, and she's in her 25th year, so she's one of the dean coaches, and that's the key. In high school sports, if you have the coaching leadership, everything else will fall in place. She's driven, she's determined, she demands respect from her players and effort. She gets it. They appreciate her. There's a lot of pressure to succeed, but it's better to have pressure to succeed than to just try to be a factor. They're a big-time factor.
I agree. Well, let's do what we do every week. We're going to preview some high school football games. They're going to take place this Friday. We're going to rip right through them. We got a whole bunch to cover. Let's start off with the main event, though. It has Oakridge at Grant. This is going to be a good one. You've got Oakridge with the offense and Ian Book and their cast of characters. You've got Grant and the big lion and the power running game.
Yeah, and it's a great contrast. And a year ago, Oakridge rolled in this game, 42-14. Yep. Nobody's going to get blown out here in Del Paso Heights. How does Oakridge handle the power running game with the undergrades and all those big linemen? And then how does Grant rattle sophomore Ian Book, who's played beyond his years? Very impressive player.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. You've got Del Oro going to De La Salle. You have one of our area's best against one of the nation's best. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, and it all comes down to the trenches. And Del Oro has terrific linemen, including Tanner Woods and the Campos brothers, and Coach Casey Taylor will take on anybody. That's his ambitious scheduling. But De La Salle really has linemen, and they have the son of NFL players and son of NFL Hall of Famers like Larry Allen. And De La Salle has this mystique, the veer option. Have not lost to a Northern California team since 1991. We were both young then. And De La Salle is 239 0-2 since then against NorCal foes. So how do you beat them? It's going to happen one of these days.
It will. Another big matchup, a pair of 3-0 teams. You have Pleasant Grove and Intercom going at it. The matchup there to watch, although they don't go against each other, are the quarterbacks, Intercom CJ Spencer. You've got Pleasant Grove's Dre Terrell. Speed on both sides. They can both throw the ball. Intercom won last year. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. We'll see.
It's tough to bet against Pleasant Grove at home. Coach Joe Catalico's got this team rolling. They've got depth at running back. Dre Terrell could be a factor on defense as a cornerback against C.J. Spencer. Maybe he'll break up a pass, maybe come with an interception. One of the absolute best leaders in the whole Sac-Joaquin section. Number 7, Dre Terrell.
That's a good matchup. How about a good rivalry? We're going to talk about the Holy Bowl. You've got Christian Brothers and Jesuit. This year, what makes it interesting, for me at least, is you got these two teams that have hopes of big seasons. These should be two quality teams.
Yeah, and the Holy Bowl always matters. Yeah. And it's 44, 45 years now. Dan Carmazzi is with Christian Brothers now after all those years as a coach at Jesuit. Christian Brothers has got some speed. They've got some size. They've got some recruits. George Petrosans really likes this team. He's the coach. And Jesuit, second year under Coach Marilyn Blanton. And the crowd, always a great crowd. You got the people in blue. You got the people in red. Some people are shirtless. We're thinking about maybe going shirtless, but we might get hauled off by security, so we'll hold off on that.
Yeah, we won't do that, we promise. Another rivalry game has Roseville at Oakmont. Roseville, a quality team this year. Oakmont, we're still trying to find out how what works out for them this year. They're both 2-1. And perhaps a game that might be under the radar, you've got Rio Linda and Center. What do we make of this game?
I like Rio Linda because it has great running game and old school style with Leo Scatabo and Marcel Brown, so a little power and speed. And then Center was an upstart last season, off to a good start. So very good. It's so many good games, large schools, small schools, rivalry games, nothing bad, nothing boring.
Yeah, we hit on all of them, I think. We did leave a few out, but we'll talk about those next week. Joe, great show. Again, be sure to check out the Shirt West Sports Show every Tuesday at 4:30 on Comcast Sportsnet California. We do a little radio show as well on ESPN 1320, Saturdays from 9 to 10. Lots of fun.
Oh, always, and we have interviews, and we talk to coaches and big picture, and it gets linked later to ESPN1320.net, and we always have stuff in the Sacramento Bee, in print, online, the Preps Plus Insider, we're all over it.
Yep. It's another show in the books. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.